Yeah. Welcome to FTB and pre-match preview for LFC. I'm supported today by some incredible people. Um, I've got Pato on there. Welcome. First time that we're on a show together. Good to see you there. And I've got Stoney. Stoney, we've done this before.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Welcome. So today's show is basically going to be a preview of, our LFC game coming up. Where obviously we've got Brighton this weekend. A bit of a sticky game the last time we played them, but we seem to be coming into a patch of good form. So we're going to try and, pick the bones out of what we see coming and, how the game's going to go. But right before we do that, guys, if you're logging on for the first time, this is FTB Sports. We have, fan-driven content around our various teams. There's a lot of lively debate and a lot of insight in terms of what we share. So please like, subscribe, and share it within your networks. Thank you very much. Right, guys, before we get into things, right, we just had the transfer window close. Pato, what are your thoughts on how things panned out for us? Are you happy with what we've done? Do you think we should have done more? What are your views?
I don't think there was much more we could do. I think Jurgen's at loggerheads with the owners anyway about spending. It's our own. It's a business, isn't it? For John, it's a business.
Okay.
So, in his eyes, he's lost money because of what's gone on. But this has happened. It's not just us. It's everybody. Look at all the buys. Name a big buy. What big buy was there?
Yeah.
No, throughout.
Yeah.
There was none. Everyone's done a desperate buy, and I think everyone's in the same situation. Look, everyone's got injuries. Look at poor Southampton last night.
Oh, mate, that was painful.
You made Man United look like the Harlem Globetrotters. Didn't you? Hey, I'm sure they saw they had their bands on, and wristbands.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
Yeah.
Well,
They won the league last night, didn't they?
Yeah, it's true.
So, I really felt sorry for Ralph, actually. Even when he entered, he was like, you could see in his face all throughout. What I'm in the gym, so what we did is a good deal with Ben. I think that's a cracking little deal, actually. And apparently we were eyeing him up anyway, and also the Turkish, because they've got a young goalie as well, haven't we? So
you have fairly happy. Stoney, what were you thinking?
I can't think you're dead happy, but you've got to go. You've got to do what you've got to do. We've got to have, at least there's two defenders, two centre backs for us. So what we need, look at all our defence. We are poor defenders.
What you saying, Stoney?
This new training ground, they're in Kirby. That's not Liverpool. I think could be something to do with that, Do you need to check the socks? I think the socks getting robbed. I don't know, but over to you.
Well, I would say in terms of what we brought in was probably what we actually needed. Two defenders. It was clear we needed strengthening in the defensive areas. I think we were probably more forced to probably have two players coming in with the long-term injury that it seems like Matip is now going to be out until the end of the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, it probably made sense for probably bringing in two defenders. Both is going to take them a little while to settle in. I know Ben Davies is coming from the Championship. Championship are used to playing relentless amount of games. So I mean, in terms of back-to-back games that he's going to be playing, probably with a little amount of training, he should be all right. But as he said, he'll need to adapt to Liverpool's mentality and the physical way of playing, the tactical side of playing as well. And I'm confident he'll be welcomed. And as you said, look, he's 25. The price that we've got him on loan, even if things don't work out, we can probably still sell him on. And we're still fine. I mean, in football terms, what we've got him for on a loan is peanuts, really. And as he said, we've got another defender as well, young defender. I think he's had seven caps for his country as well.
That's only this on that deal. It's a deal that, come on, he's come from the Championship to the Prem. You're telling me he's not going to want to perform?
Exactly.
That boy's going to wear socks off. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's going to relish the opportunity.
Can he put him as a sub tonight? Could he put him as a sub?
I think it'll probably be too early, but do you know what? It may be one of those things where, because he's a sub, the adrenaline may well get him through as well. So you're right. We never ever know. I mean, we're at home. So you're right. Even if he comes on for the last 15 minutes or something, it'd be lovely for him to actually play at Anfield, see what the beauty of the club is and the spirit of it.
But yeah, give him,
Exactly. So yeah, in terms of that,
who have we got else? So I hope he does. But that kid, watch, he's gonna perform for us. He's got something.
So in terms of that, 2 players brought in, two players, and as Pato was saying, a young goalkeeper. I'm happy.
Yeah. So Pato, I just want to pick on something you touched on, and you said right at the beginning, which was FSG or John and Klopp at loggerheads. I have a different view. I don't think that's the case. I think that's just media hype, right? Because I think that FSG have been consistent from day one.
Honestly, it's not a media. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
I think about things go on behind the back door. Bearing in mind, I've sat behind that dugout many a time, and I hear things that the crowd don't hear, or that isn't on that. I see different. I've been to Melwood. It's different off camera. Do you know what I mean? Things are different.
So, because my view is this, I feel like Klopp has the keys to the kingdom. I feel that he has his role. I think he doesn't, as he says, control the purse strings. And I feel like they have a plan which they've stuck to and they've been consistent with. I feel like it's not a case that Klopp's going to say, I want this, and they're going to be like, no, Klopp, you can't have it. I think it's more a case of, I want this, and they're going to write, okay, we'll try and make it happen within the system that we have, right? And there can be frustrations in terms of it not happening quick enough, which I think there was this time around, but I don't think they're at different purposes, because what people need to understand is, they run it like a business, but ultimately, if you've got a business, if this business doesn't perform, you're not going to be profitable. So in a way, we are aligned. So even if they're after money, they're not dragging money out of the club, are they? But they're trying to make the investment worth more. So when they sell it, it's profitable, right? We can all agree that. But in order for that to happen, the product's got to be good, right? So they're going to have to, make sure that we're able to compete and we're able to perform. I think what's happened this season is a series of unfortunate things. We've gone into the season with 3 first-team centre-backs, Van Dijk, Matip and Gomez, right? And in his mind, Klopp's thinking, I've also got Fabinho that I can play in there, so that makes 4. And I've got 2 young centre-backs that, I can bring in occasionally to give games to. Van Dijk was assaulted at Everton. So he was out. Gomez had an unfortunate injury, and I know people say he has a bad injury record, but actually he's just had unfortunate injuries. He's not an injury-prone player. Matip, on the other hand, has to be managed. We can't play him 2 or 3 times a week. He's got to be like 1 week on, 1 week off, right? We know that. So things just haven't worked out for us. And I think that what people may not understand is that we were always looking for a centre-back. We've been looking for a centre-back since the summer. It's just that, the way we operate is not the same way we used to operate previously, where we panic by, like, I'm going to spend 50 million on Andy Carroll or bring in a Mario Balotelli. We're more purposeful in terms of the way we approach things, right? I heard that we do our transfers 18 months to 2 years ahead of when we need the player. So that's extensive. So with that given, and that's the way we operate, Klopp was kind of like, right, I can still manage this. But then things just started spiraling. We got to a point where we've got no first-team centre-backs. And at that point, urgency changed. Matip's injury, I think you're spot on, Stoney. It made a difference in terms of how we went about things. We started looking for players that we could get in. And you know what? We've got to take our hats off to Michael Edwards to be able to bring 2 quality centre-backs, right, in the space of time that he did for less than £3 million.
Yeah, exactly.
How'd you do that? How'd you do that? So look, so I guess in summary, we're all quite happy with the transfers that's done. I think, my personal view is that the league needs to be careful now.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't they talk of a forward as well?
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, we bought this 16-year-old kid that Derby were trying to hold on to as well. And he's a bit of quality. So it's looking good. Just before we move on to the next sort of segment of the show, I've got a few questions. Thanks for all our listeners that are logged on. There's a bit of banter flying around. You can tell the solo guy, he's a United fan, saying that our fee, the club, had to feel the pain. We won't be signing any of them in the summer transfer window. Yeah, all right, mate. Moving on swiftly. If you've got a serious comment, then you can get rid out. Is Klopp likely to throw the new defensive signing straight in? Good question. Good
Pato,
question.
you were mentioning that just now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that, Pato?
Straight in the starting line?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Nah. What about yourself, Stoney? What are your thoughts?
No, I agree with Pato. No, there wouldn't be enough time, I think, for them to actually familiarize themselves with how we are currently playing or how Klopp expects us to actually play. I mean, if they're there as part of the squad and they come on for the last 10 or 15 minutes, then I think that'd actually be fine. I mean, we don't know how up to speed they are physically, how much they've actually been training, and to tell the truth, how many games back to back they've actually been playing as well. So no, I can't see them going in straight away. I can't see them starting today, and I can't see them starting against Man City. But anything after that, then we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, my view as well is that, you know, we play a very particular system. You can't just walk into our team unless you're a Van Dijk level signing and perform. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And the thing is, I also think as well, if they were, Sam is quite right with his comment. I think if they were to start and for whatever reason, if there were any defensive errors, I think, you know how social media and people are, they'll be on those two players' backs. And that's the last we want. We want them to come into the club, make them feel welcome.
Confidence, not destroy.
Exactly. So I'd say for that purpose, I can't see them starting straight away now.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. Then I think I don't see them starting either, unless there's been some extremely amazing performance in training, which I don't see happening. I think we're likely to see Nat Phillips and Henderson again. Potentially. And I think, you know what, let's give Nat Phillips some credit. You know, he done well. He's done really well. I think that for me, I used to joke around and say he's a pound land Carragher. Right. Actually, I think I did him a discredit in the regards that I think he's actually better on the ball than Carragher is in terms of his passing range. So, you know, that wouldn't concern me too much if we did that.
Now it's home and bargains.
Exactly.
Pounds home and bargains, or we get Marks and Spencers, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about, while we're on the subject, it's a good question here from Charles Williams. Thank you for your contribution. Williams and Phillips, what are our thoughts? Are they good enough to stay with the squad? What do you think, Stoney?
I think if our defensive injuries didn't happen, so if no issues happened with Matip, Van Dijk or Gomez, I still believe that Williams and Phillips would still be probably training with the first team or with our academy. So I think that they'd still revert to what the overall plan would have been this season, and there's no pressure on them. They may well come in and play a few games here or there and, you know, be on the squad, but there's absolutely no pressure on those players to actually perform. I don't think there's any pressure on them to actually start playing full games either. They just revert back to part of their development. You know, we're blessed that we had the opportunity to obviously see them. It's going to give them minutes. It's going to give them experience as well. And that's only going to be a positive thing for us moving forward. Whether they remain at us long term or not, we'll see. If they don't, we do know that we'll get a good deal for them either way. So I don't think there's any pressure on either of them. They've made a good account for themselves since they've been there. You know, people might be trying to compare them with Gomez and, you know, Van Dijk. That's unfair because they're not those players. But I said they've made a good account for themselves.
Agree. Pato, what are your thoughts? Good enough?
Well, yes. William's still young, isn't he? He's still learning and developing. And as you said, Stoney, as he's done absolutely brilliant. Stepped up to the mark, did what he's been asked to do. Okay, a few little errors here and there, but what you'd expect it. And yeah, I do see it can be a little bit nervous. Sometimes you see the nerves, don't you? But that'll go. He'll settle in again. It's building your confidence. Football's up here.
Yeah.
It's about what, 90% up here. 2% your feet. Got to be ready, fighting, fit. You know, and the rest follows. So he's still learning. He's still developing. But
I actually agree. So my view is, and you're absolutely right, Stoney, in terms of how much exposure they would have had, given that if we didn't have the injuries that we had. If I had to look at them as individual players, I think Phillips is more equipped to do a job right now. I think you're right. Williams is young, and I'm not going to be one of these crazy, stupid fans that gets on his back. He's a young kid. I mean, my son's older than he is. You know what I mean? So I look at it and I think to myself, the one concern I have about Williams is that his lack of pace. I do worry about that, because I think it's not something that you can just add. You know, so he's always going to not be the fastest, given his height. And I think that means that he needs to learn to read the game a lot better in order to, you know, really show his qualities. You know, there's been defenders in the past that have no pace. I mean, you look at someone like Mertesacker. He's still, you know, competed on a world-class stage, didn't have any pace. So it's all about you reading and anticipation, and he's going to have to work on those aspects. And that comes with experience. So I'm willing to give him the time to develop. You know,
listen, I'll hook him up with Vinnie Jones and get Vinnie to give him like any company football to save his life, and he admitted that, you know. So.
So that's fair enough. Well, that's good.
Means tactics. It's all tactics.
Yeah. So, you know, with all that being said, let's move on. The next segment of the show really is to think about what we think our starting lineup is going to be against Brighton. What are your thoughts? What if you had to pick your 11 for Brighton, how you picking it?
Jack, do you want to go first?
Oh, sorry.
You want to go first?
Yeah. Ladies first.
I think it's going to be probably the same lineup as West Ham, except probably Firmino will start. Firmino, but I don't know. It's a shame we haven't got Jota back, really, isn't it?
I know.
Because, I mean, look at the last game. You know, the last time we played them 1-1. I know it went against us. What was it? Two offsides went against us, didn't it? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a similar team.
Similar lineup.
But yeah, same lineup as West Ham. Yeah.
Stoney, you see any changes being made?
I would just like to see. So I'd be happy with the same back four that we had. In the middle, who do we have? We had Gigi, we had Thiago, and we had, who was our other midfielder that we had in that last year? Milner. Yeah, that was a nice appearance. So those three have played the last three together. I would like Shaqiri to start. He played kind of like drifting between the central role where Firmino would play and then over on the left. So I know it would be a little bit harsh on this. He may well play Origi to give him a little bit more game time and continue with that rhythm as well. But the same three, Thiago, Gigi, and Milner in the middle. But I would like to see Shaqiri, Mane, and Salah playing up front. That's what I'd like to see. So same black four. But I like the combination.
He's going to be playing though, is he?
Yeah, I know. So that's the only thing. That's probably why.
I'd save him for the City game.
For the City game.
Save him for the City game.
Yeah. You're right. I think with Origi playing will be quite interesting. I mean, we're up against Brighton. You know, ball playing centre backs. They're comfortable, technical players as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Origi does play, what tactics he's actually going to be given to actually get in and around them. But I definitely want Shaqiri to play. The last couple of games he's played nice.
They don't know if Veltman's playing either, do they? Like,
no
fees. playing.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah,
but we'll win. That's the main thing. We're going to win.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
What's your lineup then, Stitches?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to volunteer actually. So for me, I don't see Salah starting. I think he's going to be rested for City game. I think Firmino starts. I also think that depending on Mane's fitness, he might get a few minutes, but I don't think he starts. Either he starts and he doesn't end the game, or he gets rested. I think Origi's a good shout. I wouldn't mind seeing Shaqiri up there either. I think he's in really good form at the moment. So we got to use the squad. The midfield was phenomenal for me. I liked the fact that Ginny played in that 6 role, or Milner played in the 6 and freed up Thiago to go and cause havoc. We need to unleash Thiago.
I know, it's going to come.
Playing him in the holding role, he's capable, but I just feel like the physicality isn't quite there for him to be at his best. You need him pulling the strings further up, linking with the attacking guys. I think that's what we need. I think you're right. The defensive line probably picks itself. Hendo might have to do a job again at centre back, and then we'll have Phillips alongside him. I think I'll be surprised if we have any of the new centre backs in that position, but if we did, that changes the whole dynamic, because then Hendo might be available to play midfield. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd be tempted to give Shimikas a start in this game as well. Rest Robbo for City coming up. I think I'd consider that. He must have enough training in his legs now and enough know-how about how we play for that to perhaps be a good thing, especially if he's got Hendo next to him, talking him through the game as well.
I see you've been pushing for him to play the last few times that we've spoken and we communicated. You've been pushing for him to get a start.
Not to take anything away from Robbo. I think Robbo's been probably one of our most consistent players this season. I just feel like I'm worried that he's playing too many minutes, and I don't want him to get injured. So where we can rest him, let's maybe try. Give him a few minutes rest, especially given the game coming up against City, which I think is going to be a crossroads this season in terms of where things go. We'll be doing another show about that.
That's right.
I've got that in the back of my mind, So so for me, that's basically what I'm seeing in terms of our starting lineup. So here's a left
start. I think he'll start and then take him off and rest him, because he's still got to be match fit. Plus, got to win at home. We need to get our mojo back at Anfield. So
we do definitely. But I think as a team
tonight to win. So I don't know.
I think as a team we've got some
of the goals and then rest them.
Yeah. I think we've got some of our mojo back though in the way that we're performing. The team's really performing really well at the moment. So let's keep that momentum going. So here, who do you see as the danger man for Brighton? Who do we need to be concerned about?
Maupay.
I don't even know. Go on, finish speaking.
Pardon?
Maupay, you were saying?
Yeah.
Pato? Yeah. What about yourself, Stoney?
And Trossard as well.
No, go on. Finish speaking.
Yeah, no. Pato said Maupay.
Maupay. I think it's going to be. I still believe that it's going to be how we actually get in and around Brighton's defence. I really, really, really do like the way that Brighton are currently playing at the moment. You can see they've got technical players everywhere. I think if they had a forward, I do believe that they'd be in a different position in the actual league. But I'm not too sure who the danger person is going to be. I don't know.
I think
I'm going to come back to you on that one.
Okay, I think for me, the problems are going to come from Basuma. In terms of
midfielder.
Yeah, can he get in amongst our players and cause problems in terms of breaking up our attacking impetus? That's where the question mark is. If he can't do that and he can't impose himself on the midfield, we run the game. We run the game. I think attacking wise, their strikers are hit and miss. if they get clear-cut chances, they either put them away or they don't. You know, it really depends what day of the week it is. You know, so we've got to minimize the chances they get, which we'll do anyway. It's really whether we can get control of the midfield and stamp our authority on the game. You know, so I mean, let's talk about match predictions while we're talking about that. Then, what are we seeing scoreline? Because I'll go first. I'm seeing 2-0.
2-0.
I'm seeing 2-0.
3-1.
3-1.
Oh,
It's a good shout.
3-1. We're liking 3-1.
Yeah, that's my other shout. That was my other shout. If not 2-0, 3-1.
And 3-1. I'm going for 3-1 Liverpool. That is, yeah.
Oh, Bill, help us. See, Bill, this is my lucky scarf. Bill's pulled us
Bill
out.
Shankly, the great man himself.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, guys, look, before we wrap up the show, right, I like to throw in a little segment here. It's a bit left field. It's just, who do you think is going to be man of the match?
Thiago.
Who did you say?
I'll go for Thiago.
Thiago.
Yeah.
No, I'll go for my man Salah.
Okay.
Mo, you think Mo's going to start? You'll be man of the match. I think it's going to be Henderson.
Okay.
Good shout.
That's left field.
That's what I think. I think he's gonna. This is. Look, I wasn't the biggest Henderson fan, but since COVID and no fans, and just hearing his influence on the pitch, respect levels have gone up. Like, he's a talker. He is.
He's good.
I would miss him when he's not there. Like, you can hear him. Bellowing, encouraging, giving instructions. When he's not playing, it's definitely silent. Hendo's the man. Hendo's the man. You know, the glue. He's the glue, and I think he's going to be man of the match. That's my shout. You know, but yeah, look, I'm looking forward to the game. Have you guys got any pre-match rituals that you want to share in terms of what you do just before the game, just to bring us a bit of luck?
I usually turn off my notifications on my phone because I don't need to hear from anybody else. I like getting in my zone and watching the games in peace with my family. So that's my ritual.
Okay, Pato, what about yourself? You just kissed Bill?
I don't get a kiss. Bill gets a kiss. I always have this. I have to have this scarf for panic if I don't. So this is being lucky so far. Yeah, and I give him a kiss, and I even take him on holiday. You know.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Honestly, being around the world, the scarf has been around the world.
Awesome. I love that.
We're going to do it tonight. Nobody's confidence. Keep the faith.
Yeah. I always have my Liverpool shirt lined up to put on. But I'm only putting it on 15 minutes before the game.
Okay.
15.
Magic 15. It's got to be 15 minutes.
Alarm for 15 minutes before you do.
That's what I do. All right, so that's my ritual. You know, and that's how, and I do that without fail. So listen, guys, it's been a great show.
Thank you.
It's been a great show. Look forward to the match tonight and catching up with you guys afterwards for the post-match show where we pick the bones out of what's happened. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you, Pato. Thank you to the fans online for listening in. Brilliant. Thank you, guys. And this has been FTB. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thank you very much, guys. And we'll see you on the other side.
See you later. Champions.
Bye.